Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome into the 143. We're coming at you live with Under Review episode 224. Nick, how are we doing tonight?
Doing good. Got a little draft recap for you.
Yes, we do.
Big week, big heavy defensive draft for your Dallas Cowboys. But we're here to bring you just thoughts and overall kind of what we saw from it, what we liked, what we didn't like, and just the overall vibe.
I think as Cowboys fans, we were just like more into this draft than most drafts recently. I just feel like the energy was at an all-time high because we had so many needs, but they were all on defense. And so Stat of the Week brought to you by Andrews Logistics is actually that of the 7 guys picked by the Dallas Cowboys, 5 of them were defensive players. And the 2 offensive guys were very late round draft picks. So, Jerry heard and he listened and he understood the assignment. And we went and got those guys that we needed, just some defensive players. And I don't know who Player of the Week is, but I'm assuming one of them might be Player of the Week potentially. So we're super pumped about the draft. We're super pumped about the Cowboys draft, and we're going to talk about it here in a sec.
Yeah, Player of the Week obviously spoiled it last week with making Fernando Mendoza Player of the Week just because he was projected to go first overall, which he did. But I changed it up a little bit. Player of the Week is Caleb Downs, who, to many people's surprise, fell all the way to pick 11 going to the Dallas Cowboys. There were some people that even said he was the best player in the draft. Now,
I agree.
Falling to 11 was crazy. Did not think that we would end up with him as Cowboys fans, but incredible defensive player out of Ohio State, 2-time All-American, 2025 Defensive Player of the Year in 2025. It looks like he combined for 68 tackles, 5 tackle for losses, 1 sack, and 2 picks. But super duper excited to add him to the roster. Obviously, a huge name going into it. One of the most sought after defensive players, I thought, in this draft.
Yeah.
Very surprising that he fell as far as he did, but obviously, being biased as Cowboys fans, we're completely okay with him falling this far. We were talking about it last week, where we would love an ideal situation where we wind up with this guy, but that was barring trading up with the Cleveland Browns and securing that 6th round pick, or the 6th overall pick, I should say.
Right.
Instead, we were anticipating trading upwards and getting one of him or Sonny Styles, but we stayed at pick 11, or so we stayed down low, traded with Miami up 1 pick, and got him anyway. So, hey, it's a win for Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest people to thank here in this situation would be thank you to the New York Giants for just absolutely selling at pick number 10 for themselves. Their fans were absolutely livid. Me and Nick were watching this live, and we were not happy that the Cowboys did not trade up to pick number 9, which belonged to the Browns at the time, to get Caleb Downs before the Giants at pick 10. And then, lo and behold, the Giants pick a tackle at pick 10, and Jerry wasted no time getting Miami on the phone, trading up from 12 to 11, give them a couple 5th-rounders who needs them, and we got the future of our secondary in Caleb Downs, who I believe is definitely one of the top 3 players in the draft. I don't know why teams didn't take him, other than the fact that they don't value the safety position as much, or they didn't need a safety. But whatever the case was, very incredibly thankful that he fell all the way to number 11. Miami might not have taken him, but at that point you go get your guy. And, that's what we did. We drafted Malachi Lawrence at pick 23, trading with the Philadelphia Eagles, who picked Mekhi Lemon, the slithering snake, as I like to call him, because he does his interviews very strange. But we picked Malachi Lawrence out of UCF. Don't know much about him, but the tape that I've seen so far looks very promising. I think
you a guy on the front line.
I think at this point, these are Christian Parker's guys. He's our new defensive coordinator. You trust him. If they don't work out, it's on him.
And I think we were talking about this guy too, where that was somebody that he had his eye on, that he really liked.
Yeah.
I believe there was a couple cornerbacks, I want to say, who were still available at that time, who we were kind of wondering why they didn't get taken, but then it was like, Christian Parker said he likes this guy, so it's like, okay.
He likes him.
He wants him. He sees him in the scheme. Let's go out and get him.
We won't go through the late round guys, but our third round pick is Jayshon Barham out of Michigan. It says he's an edge, but he's mainly a linebacker. I think that's what we would play him as, which is what we need. But that was another guy that Christian Parker really liked. So props to Jerry for just kind of giving it to his defensive coordinator, letting him have the input to get these guys that he likes, because at the end of the day, this defense is going to come down to him. And, we made a trade during the draft for D. Winters, linebacker out of San Francisco. I love that trade. I thought D. Winters was a dog last season. He was a backup, but then when all of the linebackers San Francisco got injured, he came in, played lights out. Even in the playoff game, he did really good for San Francisco. So overall, for us as Cowboys fans,
right direction.
Yeah,
a couple great picks in the draft.
Great.
Obviously,
picks.
A trade in there. But I feel like our first round guys that we got in Malachi Lawrence and Caleb Downs could be some huge, impact players to build on. We're still waiting on GP to see what happens there.
Yeah, we don't know.
Obviously, things are kind of up in the air. It had been somewhat anticipated that there might be a move made on draft day, possibly trading him maybe for doing a pick situation. I don't know. Nothing ended up happening. We're still, this is happening on Monday, April 27th. So as of this point, we have not made any progress in any direction. So we're just sitting in no man's land right now, waiting on that.
But I think as Cowboys fans who are extremely critical of the Cowboys, I'd give this draft an A grade, just because I thought it was kind of a defensive masterclass, and it honestly didn't matter after we got Caleb Downs. We could have had guys I've never heard of down the rest of the board. Like Caleb Downs is the guy that we needed. We've already added pieces on defense outside of the draft. I think our defense will at least be average this year, and that's all you can ask for after seeing last year. If we can have a top 5 offense like we did last year and an average defense, we'll be doing pretty good.
I mean, even Sonny Styles falling to 7 was kind of unexpected. I mean, Sonny Styles and Caleb Downs, those were, they were anticipated to be 2 top 5 picks, and they fell a little bit further down. To many people's surprise, when Kansas City traded up to get that 6th overall pick, I think Mansour Delane was, people had him going further down than 20, I think. Something.
Yeah.
He was one of the better corners in the draft, but I don't think he was anticipated to be taken this high. But what really kind of threw a wrench into it, I think, was the Jeremiah Love pick and the Carnell Tate pick. That's what really kind of the thing was taking Jeremiah Love 3rd overall for Arizona.
Well, it came down to Arizona. It was, do you need value or was it best available? And I think they just went with best available just because he is a next level talent. He's expected to be, one of the best running backs in the league. He's now the highest paid running back in the league with that pick. But Carnell Tate definitely shocked me for the Titans. I thought for sure they were going to go defense. I thought for sure they were taking Sonny Styles or even Arvell Reese. But, that one shocked. And I think, after that, everyone kind of seemed to be kind of scrambling. The Chiefs, they just, really wanted their guy. I think Mansour Lane would have been there at 9 when they were already at pick 9. But, they kind of did what we did. They were like, you know what, we're just going to go get him.
We have a chance to get who we want, so let's go.
Yeah. And so they did. And then, yeah, I hate that Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles are staying in our division. I think those guys are really good. I think those are dogs. But I'll tell you who I'm not worried about. I'm not worried about Malachi Lemon because Caleb Downs will light him up 2 games out of the year.
Glad the Eagles went out and got a wide receiver, but it's a shame for him that he has Jalen Hurts as his quarterback throwing to.
Yeah, and the thing is, people are saying now Jalen's got to be comfortable throwing it over the middle of the field, which he's not. So, like, you're expecting a guy who hasn't done it for – how long has he been in the league? Like 6, 7 years? I mean, it's been a little bit, and he hasn't loved throwing it over the middle. He's scared to throw a pick. So, I mean, at that point, like, what? All of a sudden he's just going to be okay with doing that? I mean, and if he throws it over the middle of the field, Caleb Downs will put Malachi Lemon in the hospital. Like, I'm not worried about Malachi Lemon. I'm not worried about the Eagles. And anyone can come at me for saying that, but I don't care because I love where the Cowboys are at. And another interesting thing, kind of the talk of the draft was the Rams taking Ty Simpson at pick 13. A lot of people thought Ty Simpson wasn't even really first round worthy. And the Rams probably could have traded down and gotten him later. But it was kind of a similar situation where they saw their guy, they wanted him, they picked him. There was some controversy regarding Sean McVay's answer in the press conference on whether or not he wanted him. It was just it looked more like Les Snead might have wanted Ty Simpson more than Sean McVay, because Sean McVay is very passionate about it being Matthew Stafford's team. This pick was clearly for the future. Obviously, like after Matt Stafford retires, because I don't think he's going to play more than 2 years. But that pick shocked me. I don't know about you, Nick.
Yeah, obviously, I don't think Ty Simpson was awful, but to go 13th was kind of nuts, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I guess the Rams have this vision, and they're kind of going all in, where, Matthew Stafford has, let's just say, 2 more years. And so Ty Simpson sits back, learns the scheme for 2 years, learns under Matthew Stafford for 2 years, gets a good relationship with Sean McVay and various members of the staff, and then kind of gets handed the reins when Stafford finally retires, and it's just this smooth transition onto the future.
Right. That's their goal, I think.
I think he's been available, later. Right?
Absolutely.
This pick that they had got from the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah. I don't think there was too many people high on Ty Simpson that had him on his radar. But, they had a plan. They're putting all their eggs in this basket. He's not going to be playing week 1, but it's just, I guess, the idea that when Matthew Stafford says it's time to hang it up, they can let Ty Simpson run in there and over.
He'll benefit from Sean McVay. He'll benefit from sitting behind Matt Stafford. He's only played 1 season of football in college, and so if things go according to the Rams' plan, he will have played by his 3rd season in the league. He will have played 1 season out of 6 seasons of football after high school. So it'll be interesting to see, but that was a big surprise out of the draft. But overall, draft-wise, all we care about is one team. And I thought our team really – Jerry's been impressing us this offseason, obviously. Got to put it on the field, got to prove it. But this offseason feels a little bit different than how Jerry normally does it. We've signed guys early, obviously not George Pickens. I don't really want to pay Pickens all the money in the world, so I'm okay with that. But we've signed Aubrey, Javonte, and then we were active in free agency. We had a good draft.
MVS was today. They were talking about it during the day.
You gotta assume that was maybe just in case Pickens does end up leaving.
The blow of possibly GP walking, but all in all, we said it before. This needed to be a defensive-heavy draft for the Cowboys, and that's exactly what it was. We got some dogs on the defensive side of the ball, people that will hopefully fit into the scheme that our new coordinator Parker's bringing in. So we'll see what happens there. But I'm pretty excited, ready to see what the Cowboys have got going. So,
Yep.
here's like to end our shows in under review. I brought to you a quote from Lee Woody Hayes, and he said, "Nothing that comes easy is worth a dime."
Ain't that the truth? And we hope that means Super Bowl for the Dallas Cowboys this year, or next year, this season. And we're excited. We hope Caleb Downs is the future for the next 15 years. And we're super happy to have him in Dallas. Kobe Durant, I know you're new to town. You better give him number 2. Okay? Give the kid whatever he wants, especially the jersey number.
Yeah.
You haven't done anything to prove it that you need number 2. So you better give it to Caleb Downs. But thank y'all for tuning in this week, and we'll see you next week with another episode of Under Review.